Hey everybody, Jacob with Scooters Lawn Care. Today we're going to go over our third section of our Service Autopilot video series, which has to do with estimating. We're going to hit on how it helps us estimate. We're going to dig into some of the different things that we use in it to make estimating easier, to streamline things. This is probably also going to bring up some discussion and hopefully some questions about hourly rates and things like that I can dig farther into with people, maybe send them some documents we use to derive some of them numbers, just to really try to help out. For the first thing I want to go over, and this is very, very important, that you have an hourly rate for the truck that includes everything, that includes down to the shirts that are on your guy's back, how much that cost, and then split that up into your expected season to make sure you're recouping all your costs, recouping your overhead, knowing the difference between driving an old truck and a new truck, how much it's going to cost, less repairs, more money, more repairs, cheap truck. Knowing all these little things is going to go into this first part very heavily. Also, tracking your numbers, knowing how long it takes you to complete every lawn, being able to have the averages from a year so you know an average on these size properties, 10,000 and under, 20,000 to 30,000, 30,000 to pretty much an acre, how long it's going to take your guys to compete this in a 3-man crew, a 2-man crew, a 1-man crew, whatever you run. You've got to get these numbers perfect to try to come up with a square foot pricing. Service Autopilot, that's what we really shot for. A lot of people say, no, you can't do that. It's not going to work. In our area, we know the neighborhoods really well. Basically, we can tell you we're in Illinois, it's going to be flat. We've got fields everywhere. There's not much elevation change in our whole town. For the most part, you've got a good idea of what gates there's going to be. And then, yes, there are variables. There's going to be times where we run into a gate where you just can't get a 36 through. Well, that's where we cover ourselves. And in our agreement document that comes with our estimate, it's also going to mention that due to some of the variables, we gave you a GPS measurement so we could have a number for you quickly, which in today's society, getting something right now, it's all about right now. That's why we have all the technology. That's why things have went to where they're at. Right now. So we want to get you an estimate instantly. But we got to put some boilerplates in our agreement stating that we got to your property. It took twice as long as what we thought. Prices are subject to change off of a GPS estimate. Little things like that. Doesn't have to be super elaborate, but as long as you get it in your agreement, you get a signature on it, then you can go back and do that. If you lose the customer, fine, but being able to go and do 10 GPS estimates in the matter of a half an hour and then email out to those customers, and then follow up call them, you're able to really get a lot done really quick, stay on top of the customers so you don't have to physically go out and see every property and really just burn through a bunch of time. And those customers don't know you're out looking at 100 properties a day. They don't know that you got estimates out your ears and you can barely keep up. And you know what? They don't care. So we look for a way to make it faster, easier, and a way where we could pass it on to some of the other people in the office and make it kind of repeatable. The other thing it does is it makes our estimates more consistent. And the way we look at it is we base everything off an average. If you have a lawn that loses a little bit, well, on that average game plan, there's going to be a lawn that just wins. And then, hopefully you break here at your man-hour rate that you're looking to get. So that's the first thing Service Autopilot allows us to really do is measure all of our properties. We do a complete measurement of lot size for mowing prices, and then we do a turf-only measurement for fertilization and weed control. We go by per thousand, pretty cut and dry, straightforward. And that's another thing. You've got to know how much your 5 rounds cost. You've got to know what every chemical you're going to use costs. You got to know what it costs to go back and do a redo, a respray, a repeat call. You've got to know all this down to what's it going to cost you per square foot to treat that lawn per year, and how much money do you plan to make per time there, and then your fudge factor of if you have callbacks and you got to go back and fix it. Because in my mind, we want great service and a great product so we can get return customers. Jonathan from Florida Lawn Pros, his whole referral package program, which we like, I love it, I've seen it before, that works really well off having good service. So you got to focus on that, but not to bunny trail off into different things. But Square foot estimating, huge. It's where we want to make our services easier other than our landscape projects, our bigger, more complicated things. So the second thing I want to talk to you about is automated estimates. So now that we have these measurements that we go in, we can automatically estimate for several things. We can automatically estimate your mowing, your fertilization, weed control, your aeration, and your overseeding. So kind of how we set this up is a template, and I called it, it's still new, it's still fresh, and if you guys have tried anything else or done anything else in Service Autopilot, I call it our off-site estimate is kind of what it's called. So when we click on that template, if you've done those measurements, it automatically drafts all the services that can be derived off those measurements. So every time we do an estimate, generally for someone, if they ask for mowing, we send them fertilization, weed control, we send them everything. In a follow-up call, I definitely make sure to tell them that this is not an upsell tactic. This is trying to provide you a better service. So if you didn't know we offered this service, now you know the price, and now you can potentially get away from having two or three different service providers. So that is the really big thing with those automated estimates. We have an automated template for all of our offsite and then all of our onsite, and then we can also put that together. So if we talk to a customer, we can very quickly tell them the things I've already mentioned: mowing, aeration, overseeding, fertilization, weed control. We can give them that price over the phone. But when they ask us, sir, I need a hedge trimming estimate, I need an estimate on gutters, I need an estimate on this, this, and this, that's all on our on-site estimate. So we can load both documents in, we give them their first prices, so we've kind of got the hook in them on this is, they already know what we charge. So we've been really fast, we've been Johnny on the spot, making sure they know. And then we just tell them on the phone. So I've gave you these prices. It looks like my schedule's free later on today, later on tomorrow, whatever the time is for you to get out there, do the on-site part of your estimate. Let them know I'm going to send this in an email the very second I get done, probably on-site, and then we're going to follow up with you either later that day or the next day. All very huge. I love the automated part of doing templates. I used to add service after service after service. Now, we really try to sell maintenance. Maintenance is our big thing. Well, we basically just click on offsite estimate. It looks like I got cut off on that last video. But yeah, we basically just click on offsite estimate, and it's done. It's got everything there if our measurements have been in. So as far as automated estimates and really making a smooth flow for estimates, it's been huge for us. It's made the office have better flow. It's made it where other people can do estimates besides me. It doesn't take my thought process of looking at a lawn and saying this is what it's worth. And back to it just makes us more consistent. The third thing for this that is huge, I love it, is sending your estimate and getting approval. Verbal approval, that's kind of how we used to do it on a lot of stuff, and that's fine on some smaller jobs, not on big stuff. And we really look for maintenance is what we really try to get, and then the selling the landscape projects and stuff, that's just on top of that. But this allows us to send out the estimate, and then all of our agreement literature is below that estimate. So if you're to print this off, it's a 9-page thing if you only have 1 page worth of estimate numbers. It really covers everything. It puts in some of those boilerplates I mentioned earlier for, if the estimate's not good once you get there, to try to state why we do this and how we measure by square foot, and what happens if there's always dog poop in the lawn. How do we deal with that? Or what if there's always a lot of sticks on the ground from your trees? What if you don't clean up all the toys in your backyard? Because guys, we're out there mowing lawns. Don't be picking up everybody's stuff, doing tons of extra stuff. You bid that lawn just to mow it. You didn't bid the lawn to do any of the extra stuff, to clean up all the dog poop, to pick up all the toys, to put everything away every time. That's not how it was. So this allows us to send this digital form. 95% of the people we send out our estimates to, we email them. And then it allows them to digitally accept it. It makes it very clean. They've accepted everything. If not, we can mail it out with a return envelope for them to mail it back to us and also get approval that way. But it just makes it great. So I've sent probably 3 estimates yesterday. I look in my email, we've got 2 estimates already says that they were accepted, you know, and you can just kind of watch it like this, and as you build more and more in Service Autopilot, you can see how much more you can just make things flow, and it really makes the estimating kind of effortless for some stuff. Yeah, your big projects are always going to be hard. Your fall cleanups, spring cleanups, you're always going to have to go look at that stuff. You know, things change from year to year. Every year it's different. Every time of the month it's different for doing fall cleanups and spring cleanups. So that's a whole different thing. But I always looked at it like, let's try to make the parts of it we can easy. I know this isn't going to work for everybody, the square foot measurements and things like that, because not everybody has the flat ground and stuff we do. So it's not going to make it as streamlined, but you can still streamline a lot of things. Like I said, the sending and the approval of estimates, how clean that looks, how it gives them everything about your company, what they should expect from you, what you should expect from them. That is what has really taken us above and beyond this last season, and we're trying to refine and make it even better for this year. So all in all, in conclusion, this has been estimating part 3 in our series for Service Autopilot, how we use their estimating, how it makes us more efficient, and why we love it, and it's making life easier for us. If you guys have got any questions, please let me know. I definitely want to hear questions. I'm a numbers freak, an Excel freak. If you want any of our, not that I'm great, not that I know it all, but if you want any of our literature on Excel sheets and stuff that kind of help us do breakdowns and know what stuff costs, let me know. You know, it's always good to throw ideas together. If you got any information on what you've heard, if you use Service Autopilot or use something else and you think that there's a better option or a different thing we could be doing, love to hear that too. Open to change anytime that there's something that makes life easier. So everybody, Jacob with Scooters Lawn Care, have a great week. I hope you the best in 2017. Let's go out there and kill it, guys. Have a great week.